So I had a question that was asked on one of the paradiddle videos that I did, and it was paradiddle picking for bass part 3, and the question was, where do I anchor my thumb? And when I'm playing the first half, I have my thumb anchored on the E string, and then when I go to the second half, I'm anchoring on the pickup here. Hopefully you can see this better at this angle. So let's take this further and just talk about thumb anchoring in general. Now, as you can see, my bass here just has the pickups in the center. Sometimes you'll see basses with a pickup back here. They'll have like the same kind of pickup set up here and then a bar back here. And sometimes you'll see, like an electric guitar, you'll have a pickup here closer to the bridge and then a pickup here near the neck. When you are playing bass, if you're doing the fingerstyle stuff, it is a good idea to have an anchor. Typically, when I'm playing on the low E string here, I'll have my thumb anchored on the pickup. And I've even seen some guys like Geezer Butler from Black Sabbath, he actually anchors his thumb on the neck here. So I recommend doing it over here. I just feel like I have more control, because what happens is when you're playing here and then you go, let's say you're playing on the E string and then you want to go to the A string for those notes, I'm jumping my thumb up to the E string here so I can play on the A string and have more control over what my fingers are doing. And then if I'm going up to the D string, if I'm playing on that, then I'll move my thumb again. So same thing if I'm playing on the G string, I'll have my thumb on the closest string to it. It also kind of helps, it's like a good place to stop your finger, kind of like run into that string and kind of hit your thumb there. Now, of course, there are exceptions to this. It really depends on what I'm playing. That will determine where I'm anchoring my thumb. So let's say, like for example, like the thing I just showed with the paradiddle, because I'm playing on both the A and the D string, I'm not going back and forth between jumping on those two strings and anchoring my thumb like that over and over again, especially because I want those strings to ring out together. So I put it on the string that is closest to the lowest string I'm going to be playing. So I'll say that again because that's kind of a mouthful. So I'm playing on the A and the D string. Because the A string is the lowest string that I'm playing on, I'll put my thumb on the E string to anchor it, because it's now closest to the lowest string I'm going to be playing. So even if I was to do, let's say, play something on all three of those strings, then I would be still anchoring my finger on the E string. Now let's say I just wanted to play on the D and the G. I would be anchoring my finger on the A string. So if I was to be playing something on those three strings here, the E, A, and D, thumb would be anchoring on the pickup again. So if I'm doing like a scale though, I will have my thumb hopping across the strings like that. Because I feel like when you have your hand in as close to the same position as possible wherever you're going, it's going to make things a little bit easier for you. Because if you're always anchoring here, then you got that big stretch that's going right here that might make doing fast things a little more difficult than if you're doing it like this. So I think it makes a little bit better for economy of motion there, meaning that you'll be making smaller movements in general, and you won't have as big of a stretch there, because if you bigger stretch there, that means you're more spread out. But I think when you're contracted like this better, then it's going to be easier for you to move your fingers a little bit quicker. But of course, you got sometimes you might have a bass line that involves you to play all the strings. So that's an exception to the rule. Anchor your thumb on the pickup there if you're going to be hitting all the strings, but try and keep it as close as possible to whatever you're going to be playing, whatever string you're going to be playing on. It seems to help me, and it seems to help my students a lot too, because a lot of times they will be used to anchoring on the pickup all the time, and then when I get them used to moving their thumb along with their fingers, they notice their accuracy and their speed increases a little bit, at least a little bit, when they first start doing it, and they have more control over what they're playing. So I hope that excuse me, hope that helps clear up where I anchor my finger, or my thumb really, and hopefully that will help take your bass playing to the next level.